Is there any
Yes.
problem? Okay.
Yeah, please go on.
Yeah, fine. Good evening, all. Today, we all have gathered here to attend the webinar conducted by Prem Jain Memorial Trust as a part of Harit Prem Bharat Mahotsav 2021. The main vision of this trust is to establish a foundation in memory of late Dr. Prem Jain with a mission to identify future leaders and to be catalyst for global development of sustainability, promoting green innovations, technologies, and celebrating achievements of technologists. I find immense pleasure in introducing our speaker, Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. Ashok Gupta, National Advocacy Vice Chair, ISHRAE, CEC member, ASHRAE HQ. He was nominated as the ASHRAE Young Face of Engineering in the winter of 2013. He aspires to spread his knowledge to everyone. Welcome you, sir. Next, I would like to welcome Ms. Pal Jain, founder trustee and Indian fashion designer. She has done several fashion shows over the years to collect funds for NGOs that are working sincerely towards improving lives of weaker section of society. Payal Jain Design is a leading couture and print designer from India. The brand celebrated its 25th year in 2017. I welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you, Angela. Thank you very much. Pleasure to.
Next, I would like to welcome Ms. Nimi SS, college representative from CUSAT. IGPC chapter in CUSAT have helped a lot of students in the academics and in career by getting placements from different companies and made them more aware about energy efficiency, waste management, etc. At last, I welcome all the students who have gathered to make this program a success. Welcome you all. Now I invite Ms. Payal Jain to address the students.
Thank you very much, Angela. You have already given a brief introduction about the trust. I just want to speak a few lines about the Harit Prem Bharat Mahotsav and sort of share with the students what the thought was. So as Ashu and I were speaking, Dr. Jain started the green building movement in India. And when he took on the role of the chairman as chairman of IGBC, his mission was for every Indian, there should be 1 square foot of green. So his target at that point was 1 million square feet. Then that changed to 2.5 at some point. Then it changed to 5 and then 7. Today we are at 7.75 billion square feet in India. And I'm told just an hour ago that next year we will hit 10 billion. And I think that is quite an achievement. We lost him in 2018 when we set up Prem Jain Memorial Trust. And the mission of the trust is to promote sustainability and to promote it amongst the younger generation. So to connect it with education. And that is what we have been doing. Based on that, we created the thought of the Harit Prem Bharat Mahotsav, which is 1 week of celebrating the planet, celebrating the earth, celebrating and bringing together like-minded people and doing activities which will help the planet and help Mother Nature. I think COVID in the last year has taught us all that the planet is very, very, very important and very precious to us. We can't look the other way and say somebody else is going to talk about sustainability and somebody else is going to save it, because it's either now or never. So on that thought, the third Harit Prem Bharat Mahotsav this year has taken on a whole different meaning for me, and I think for everybody who's connected with it, and Ashu will agree with me. Since we are sitting in the virtual world today, the outreach is so much larger. And we have been able to reach out to 20, 25 colleges. We have chapters across the country which are celebrating the Mahotsav. We cannot do physical events, but there's a lot we can do in terms of spreading awareness about sustainability. A lot of it is happening on the social media platforms this year. So it's more interactive. We are doing all these challenges, which is green mask, green art. Your students who are attending today are more than welcome to participate. The more, the better. It is a message which you need to pass on, and you need to take it on as a personal commitment and say, now I will tell 10 more people, or I will tell 50 more people about how to go green. And green is not a color as you see on the screen today. Green is much more than that. It has to be intrinsic. It has to be something you believe in. It has to be something you eat, sleep, drink, breathe. Only then there will be a change that will happen in the planet. That's all. I think I will leave it at that, and I will pass it on to Ashu. Thank you very much, Ashu, for being here. And thank you, everybody who's here today listening to us. Thank you, Nimi. Thank you, Angela. I'll hand it over back to you. Thank you very much for having me here.
Angela, should I need to start or?
You can start now.
All right, no problem. Please go ahead.
Before that, I think Nimi want to say a few words.
Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Anzila?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you. Please go on.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, all. It's great to be among friends and kindred spirits. My name is Nimi SS, third year EEE student, School of Engineering, KUSAT. I'm very happy to be here with my great club, Indian Green Building Council, KUSAT. First, I will give you a brief idea of our chapter. IGBC Student Chapter KUSAT was set up on 14th March 2018. Ever since, it was one of the best and most active student club in KUSAT, with over 300 members from civil, mechanical, electrical and safety branches of School of Engineering KUSAT. Every year, we set up different events for the members of the chapter and ensure active participation. Events in accordance with World Water Day, World Environment Day, and Harit Prem Bharat Mahotsav was conducted on the annual basis. During these various events like pledge by staff and students, poster making contests, debates, etc. are conducted. We also take initiative in planting more than 200 sampling around the campus. In 2018, we conducted Sankalp poster exhibition, which was inaugurated by then Revenue Minister E. Chandrasekharan. Several talks were conducted, including one by the CII IGBC Chairman Mr. V. Suresh. We associated with the BBG Foundation to conduct the National Climate Change Conference in January 2020 in our campus. It was a two-day event which included talks by several personalities, including the Waterman of India, Mr. Rajendra Singh. The members of IGBC KUSAT take part in annual Green Building Congress, in which the members get a chance to meet and communicate with environmental activists and other student chapters. There were several other competitions, including t-shirt competition, album making, business presentation, short film making, paper presentation, etc. to promote the idea of sustainability and green building. Even during the pandemic, this chapter was active in conducting various events and talks via online. IGBC KUSAT is a student community more than a technical society and has been successful in promoting leadership, coordination, and sustainability ideas among the students. The various certificates provided for different events conducted and provided to be further and a cap during the placement programs. And we look forward to more years of growth and betterment of IGBC Student Chapter KUSAT. And this is a brief introduction of IGBC KUSAT and its plans and details. Without any delay, I think it's better to start our heart of the function. For that, I would like to welcome Mr. Ashu Gupta to speak on green building design and need of the hour. I do believe, sir, you are one of the eminent personality we have, and we will use our real heart for you, sir. Thanks a lot and welcoming you, sir.
Thank you so much, Nimi, for introducing and inviting me. And I really, first of all, I want to thanks to Payal ji and of course Yatendra to inviting me on such a pleasure occasion, because this is the Harit Prem Bharat Mahotsav. This Mahotsav is actually when I graduated 12 years back from the colleges, when I was attending the IGBC conferences, and I got a chance to meet in person Dr. Jain, and his personality actually given me a lot of lights toward to work under the green building industry. And with his blessings, I'm running a consulting company which have more than 80 engineers in the green building industry in energy efficiency. And it was a startup I did. And with the God grace, with the blessings of Dr. Jain, we are working around the globe to make green. And I'm very fortunate that I got a chance to speak at this platform, which was his dream to to actually the awareness about the green towards the young generation. So, so this is something I'm going to share my experience, which I learned in last 12 years of experience with Dr. Jain. Definitely, whenever I attended his event, his lecture in the different part of India in IGBC conferences, in the student chapter programs, I learned a lot of things. So I'm going to share that I think 20-30% today, but it will be more. So I will be more happy. I request each and everyone to keep mute, and I request also that I'm going through this session for next 40 to 45 minutes, and will be more happy to take the questions after that, whatever the questions will come. I'm going to share my screen now. All right, so is my screen visible? Just can I get a confirmation, Nimi?
Yes, you are
Is
visible.
Perfect.
is
All right, so green building design. A lot of people might be, you are thinking the green building is mostly I think Jatendra, you are mute, you can just mute it. Okay, thanks. So green building design is the need of an hour. When we say, the people always think in a mind that this is might be the building is too green, too landscaping, or is the color of the building is green, but that actually not a green building. So what is actually that? So as an engineer, because I'm an engineer, when I came up, I always think the green is landscaping, but actually what it is, this is I'm going to train and I'm going to teach in the next 45 minutes that what the principles actually is the building design. So this is, we are celebrating all of us Harit Prem Bharat Mahotsav, and I request each one of you, please keep that in mind, because whenever the India will talk about green, the Dr. Jain name will come first in the life. That is, I have seen, and because most of you have not met him, but I have met him personally as a young engineer in ISHRE and ASHRE in IGBC. So it is really a pleasure that of course you should go over that. So first we need to understand why it is required, why the requirement of the green, and at what level we are. We all know that we are a country of the 1.38 billion people, and it is counting each and every day. And India is the country which has the most youngest population in between 18 to 24 years age. The India is a country the most young people. Every person need water, every person need energy, every person need quality air. And what actually we are going, where actually we are going. So this is, I'm going to talk that why requirement is increasing. India is a developing country, lot of development need to happen, but where are the resources, where are the natural resources? Energy is limited, water is limited, air quality is getting poor and poor every day, and these all things are related to our daily life. So we need to understand the country geographical area is same, but the population is growing, and we are growing, we are using resources every day. Everyone talk about, when you graduate from the college you think to generate, because as a mechanical engineer, when I graduated, I thought that I need to work in thermal power plant or in the some power and generation side. No one thought that conservation is also the one area where we need to work. Now the country is going towards that direction, entire world. You can see in the last, during the pandemic, lot of company has understand now that sustainability is the need of an hour, and this 2020 and to 2030 is the 10 years decade, entire decade for the sustainability. Every company will focus on sustainability, because if you are sustainable, then you can understand, you and can see the results from America. The Joe Biden, when he joined first day, Mr. Biden, President Biden, and he signed the agreement of Paris climate change. So this is entire world has been seen. So we need to understand this is a need of an hour. So India's sustainability market, when we talk about, it is estimated 10 billion, which already Payalji told about it, the 10 billion by 2022. And you will not believe, 20 years back, it started just with the 20,000 square feet, and it is now 10 billion. Imagine how much efforts Dr. Jain has done towards the 10 billion. So this is, and it is valuing around, because this is a big industry, 35 to billion US dollar industry is coming around in that. And so when the people says the green building sector, what is the growth of the building sector and why building? Why we are not focusing on industries? Why we are not focusing on infrastructure? Please understand, the building is the only sector which emit around 39% of the carbon emission in environment comes from the building. And when we design or construct any building, we do not demolish by 60 years, 70 years in India. And every building is consuming a lot of energy, lot of water, lot of air in that way. And this is the study was showing in 2010, it was only 659 million meter square. And by 2030, it will be 1900 million meter square. That means India was only one third at the level of 2010. By 2030, India will be the 66% more area or more building will happen. So this is a future that every engineer and every architect should think, that we are going towards the developed or developed nation, and we have to make such kind of infrastructure. So that is the reason the growth is there. Now, always the question comes, what actually the green building it is? What is the meaning in that? In Dr. Jain's language, because this is same language I'm talking about, he always talk about the 5 elements of the nature. Jal, Vayu, Agni, Prithvi, Akash. These are the 5 elements of the nature. And the green building is those building, if we save these 5 elements during the design, during the construction, that means you are making your building green. And in IGBC, uh, if you actually look the reference guide, all the sections are related only these 5 elements: the Jal, Vayu, Agni, Prithvi, Akash. And I'm going to teach you in every section in the design what we have to do. And I request each one of you, just understand this concept with the method of like understanding it with the intent of behind every point. So this is a report. I just want to show that how much the conservation can save to India as a India government. So this is the Bureau of Energy Efficiency report into 2018 and 19. India saved around 89,000 crore rupees just in the conservation related policies. Like ECBC is there, like B star rating buildings are there, like building green building programs are there, like LEDs lights are there. So 89,000 crore rupees just for the policies related to conservation. So you can imagine right now only 3 or 4 or 5% construction is happening towards the green construction. And that construction, if we make 100% green, then how much we can save as in the monetary to the government of India. And that is, we need to understand all segment. So first we have from before the green building, we have to understand the life cycle of the building. These are the stages actually which cover. First is the planning. After the planning, we comes to the construction, then commissioning, then operation and maintenance, and the renovation. After the renovation, again the planning happens. So this is the life cycle of any building design. And we'll talk about, because the green word doesn't only come in planning or doesn't only come in construction. It is related to the entire cycle. Whenever you are building operating, if your building is existing also, that building can also green. If you are doing the commissioning of the equipments, that how can we make the green installation in that way? The construction when is happening, how the procedure we have to follow. So I'll talk about the entire life cycle of the building design. So main components of the green building, when we talk about, if you look, when you prepare for IGBC AP exam or go through the IGBC reference guide, you will see these 5 elements, which I talked about: Jal, Vayu, Prithvi, Agni, Akash. Same, the sustainable side is your Prithvi. Water is your Jal. Energy is your Agni. Building material and resources, of course, related to your Prithvi, what are the resources we are doing from the material? And indoor is your Vayu. And these are the five elements. If you go any world, any country, you will see only these five elements which are related to the building design, and how we need to cater, how we need to design these parameters, so we can make our building as a green or sustainable. So this is overview of, generally we talked about living space. We will talk about windows, what kind of the equipments we will use, materials what we will use. So I'll go one by one each and every segment. First comes the sustainable site. The sustainable site. Please understand the intent. What is the idea behind this Prithvi? Because whenever you select a site of any building, your site, when you start a construction, you always dig the soil. You always dig out the soil, that excavation happen at the site. And green building norms says, and green building design, if we want to do, we have to take care the top soil, because the when you excavating your construction is happening, lot of soil goes from the your side to the nearby areas, and it impact to the air pollution also. I'm sure most of you are not aware, but I you will be amazed to know, whenever the air pollution in Delhi goes in peak, always the government put the construction ban or in the NCR region. The reason, because the sand which is coming from the construction, that also impact on the air pollution. And also your topsoil, which is the 3 mm initial layer of any soil, is your, if it is fertile soil, we need to conserve that. Generally in the normal practice, what people do, they dig out the soil and they don't use and go to the landfills, those soils, or in then some other areas, it go from the site. But as a good practices in construction, we need to conserve that soil. Some area we need to put dedicated area to conserve that, and we need to use refilling the land in the landscaping, so we can conserve the topsoil. Otherwise, what will happen, the construction is happening with that speed, we will lose our agriculture lands, and we will not have the land available for the farming. So that is the reason topsoil is very, very important. Similarly, there are the several practices that when you do the construction as a contractor, as a civil engineer, we all have to take care, that we need to make our sites in a such a way that from our site, there any soil should not go out. So we need to make sediment basin, so the entire soil can stand there, and only that should not go from the site. Similarly, when uh, when any vehicle is coming with the material, that vehicle, we should have a wheel washing pit, so the soil with the tire should not go out. These are the some best management practices. When we implement at the site, it can save lot of problem. And you can, I'm sure most of you have visited outside country, you can see the construction when happen outside country, the nearby building doesn't get any disturbance. But in India, we are far away with that concept, because our construction always impact to the nearby buildings also. Lot of noise pollution happen, proper barricading is not there, and that practices we should follow. And when you go for IGBC documentation, we need to keep these best management practices also in that mind. The second is basic amenities, because if you constructing a site near to the basic amenities, that intend the people who are living in that building, they will not use the vehicle to go for your daily uses. Like if you have kirana store nearby, if you have a medical shop nearby, if you have a park or temple nearby, so you will not use vehicle, you will not pollute environment with the carbon emissions. And that is the reason, if you give the basic amenities nearby the site, the people can walkable, can go there, it can save a lot of environment. And this is the concept of the green also. The third, which is the heat island reduction, we need to understand that we are making a concrete jungle, because it is demand now. We have to live in urban areas, and in the because of that, constructing more and more building, it is also impacting on the nearby environment. The environment, the temperature is getting high, and this is, I'm sure most of you will be amazed to know, UNFCCC, United Nations Council, UNFCCC has declared that how we are using our natural resources and the developing we are doing, by 2080 the temperature will can rise by 4.5 degrees centigrade, and that is the reason entire world is doing that. It should not rise more than 1.5 degrees centigrade. So we need to focus towards the sustainability, towards the carbon, reduce the carbon emission. So heat island reduction, when you construct a building, it also impact on the environment nearby, the temperature, because you must have realized this. When you travel from the rural areas to the urban areas, the temperature in rural area is lower. When you entered in the city area, you always feel the temperature is higher. The reason because of the heat island impact. And this heat island impact, we need to reduce that. So the temperature, it should not give more environmental impact. So that is the reason. So we need to promote more low high SRI paint, high SRI material, which either is a paint, either is a tile. SRI stands for solar reflective index. So we need to use as high SRI material on the roof. When you making a roof, you have seen the always uh, the upper floor get very high heat as compared to the lower heat. So we need to promote the light color material, so the heat should reflect, it should not absorb by the, and you all know the black color absorb the heat and the light color reflect the heat. So those things, if you not absorbing the heat, and of course the temperature, the requirement of the air conditioning will be less in that way. And in the non-roof areas also, we can promote this open grid pavers. This is the grass where the 70% grass and 30% is the concrete actually. So in the parking area, in our walkable area, we can utilize more in the design, so it can impact less impact on the environment for the temperature. Next is the light pollution reduction. This is also very good point related to the site, because when we construct a building, we always focus that the building should look very beautiful, but we don't care that if we are putting a light outside the building on the facade or either in the, if those lights are so high, the species nearby get polluted, or whether the environment, because the species also living there, they get distracted from that. So light pollution reduction strategies are defined that we need to promote, we need to give less light on the exterior facade area, because facade area, or either whenever we need to put light, we need to put from upwards to the downwards, not the downwards to the upward, because it gives to the environment and it distracts the species. So light pollution reduction is also the one of the criteria which is in our Prithvi. So whenever we talk about Prithvi, this all are the concepts come in that. The second is the water efficiency, Jal, which is actually I would personally say that, because without, we cannot survive our life without the water. And this is something I always feel, so much wastage we do in our building, because building consumes a lot of water. Buildings for human, and human every day in a residential building, National Building Code says the person use 135 liter per day per capita. Per day per person 135 liter. You can imagine if you are living in the 200 apartment building, the 1,000 people are living there, how much water consumption we are doing every day. And the places in India, because in entire world we say we have a 70% water, but actually when we talk about the drinkable water, this is only 3%. And in that 3%, India also has more less in that. And we are facing, like, because I belong to the Rajasthan, I have personally seen the location in Jaisalmer in Jodhpur, where people are walking toward a 2-3 kilometer long to get the fresh water, and the water table is going drastically low, and 700 feet, 800 feet, the people are getting water. And we need to understand, if we conserve really as a human being, we can save our future generation. Otherwise, we will face every year, like we have seen the Chennai was ran out of water in 2018. Shimla was in 2017. Next will be our all cities in India. So how can we save the water efficiency? That always the saving have a three concept: reduce, reuse, recycle. First, we have to understand the reduction. How can we reduce that? So water in any building design, the maximum water goes in flushing, where we are using in washrooms area. So we need to ask our vendor that we need to go with the high water fixtures, but when we say the low water fixtures uses, because the flow rate should be low as compared to the normal. So low water fixtures should go, because whenever we purchase the faucet, whenever we purchase a WC, urinal, or the shower, because in energy we have a star labeling there, but in water we don't have any star labeling, that is a 1 star or 5 star. But we should always ask, as an architect, as an engineer, that we need to have low flow water fixtures in our building design. It can save. In existing buildings, we can use the new technologies or new concept like aerators, because in India we have a tendency, when we wash our hand, if the pressure is not coming, we waste a lot of water. If water is coming with the pressure in a small capacity, we can do entire work in that way. And that is the reason government buildings notified last year that every existing building should have aerators in the building design. So it can save 30 to 40% water efficiency in that way. So water use reduction is one. Rainwater harvesting, this is something, of course, the Prime Minister has also talked about in Mann Ki Baat. In India is a tremendous, we are fortunate that rainwater is happening in most of the city always. If you compare with the Middle East countries, they don't have rainwater, but they do the artificial rainwater, artificial harvesting. They send the planes in the sky and do the precipitation, and then the water comes up. So rainwater harvesting if we have, but unfortunate part in India, when I see some buildings which have so much potential to harvest the water, they don't have the system. So rainwater harvesting should be a mandatory for every single house building also, because whatever water we are getting from rain, it is the purest form of water, and we can give into the earth and we can increase the water table. So rainwater harvesting we should promote in our building design. The third is the landscaping design, which is also very important as an architect, because we love landscaping, all of us, but we need to take care that landscaping also needs a lot of water requirement. So how we select the plant, because every plant having a different capacity to get the water. Like if you do the grass consumes lots of water, the grass requirement, the water requirement is high. So we need to promote the native plants or the species which are very native or locally adaptable. These kind of plants, if we use in our building, we can save a lot of water in the design. So that is also a one way to reduce the water efficiency in the building. The most of you might be thinking landscaping, but actually you will be amazed to know around 4 to 5 liter per meter square is the water requirement for the landscaping. Next is the water metering for end use, because I have seen this. Without monitoring, you cannot do the auditing or you cannot do the saving. You need to monitor first. And still in India, I have not seen the water meter so popular, because people think water doesn't have any cost. But please understand, we are the people also buying a water 20 rupees Bisleri or any mineral water bottle. It's a huge cost. 1 liter 20 rupees, which is the 1/4 of the milk cost. So we have to understand the day will come when the water will be high. So monitoring is must required, where actually we are wasting. And the meter cost is not so high, it's very small. And we need to put some meter. How much is going in flushing? How much is going in landscaping? How much is going in the cooling tower? So that kind of metering we should promote in our building design, then we can do. And the last is, of course, in water, recycle and the reuse. Because if we do the reduction, we have the, now the last is the recycle. Because we have to understand, we are using the entire potable water, which is the fresh water coming from the ground or coming from the municipal corporation. But in the WC, like we can use the treated water, because that water directly, when we flush, the single flush we do, the 6 liter or 8 liters water go in the sewage. So can't we use the recycled water in that? Can't, because in the landscaping huge water requirement, can't we use the recycled water in the landscaping, in the cooling, in air conditioning, in the cooling tower? We can use the recycling water. And that is the new technology, new startups are coming up. Because I'm one of the startup, I'm very active in the community of that, and I have seen the lot of new startups are coming in recycling. And actually the lot of new technologies, we can recycle the entire water, and we can make the quality of water till the drinkable uses also. But if we do not use only for the drinkable, but we can use in the flushing purpose, in the landscaping purpose, these kind of technologies are very active in the water efficiency. The third is the energy efficiency, because energy efficiency is very close to, because as a mechanical engineer, I work in a building to make an energy efficient building. And the energy is a technology which is increasing, or which we every day. Yesterday only I was reading a article, I was reading a Twitter, basically tweet from our minister, that India has highest 187 gigawatt consumption yesterday in all the entire India life. So this is increasing day by day, because gadgets are increasing, and we need to focus towards the clean energy. Of course, the renewable energy, India has a huge target for the renewable energy generation, but there is a huge potential in conservation also, in auditing. So this is something we need to focus, and green building talks about that we need to promote more high B star rated appliances. We need to go with the low voltage lighting, which is LED, and all these kind of thing. And energy metering and management, we, same like water, we need to do the metering or sub metering at every corner, because when you do the monitoring, you can save something. If you are not monitoring, you cannot. So these are the concept in energy efficiency. And please guys, I want to highlight here, every kWh of energy consumption is emitting around 800 gram of carbon emission in the environment. Now you can imagine how much is coal power plant in energy consumption, how much it is responsible for the global warming and the climate change which we are going to face. So several softwares are coming up. Now you can make entire virtual building before constructing, and we can see the energy results. We can do the optimization in that this how which direction we will get more heat. So these kind of analysis can happen in the software, and we need to learn the software how can, because entire world is moving towards the digital. Similarly, building also we need to move digitally, that how can we make a digital twin building and see the impact of that. So energy, building material, of course material, the difference between 20 years back building or now these building, actually the difference is, of course, the design of the building has changed. Earlier the people always thought that this building I am making in Rajasthan, I will use the Rajasthan related local materials. If this building is in Kerala, I will use the Kerala related materials. But now these days, the people designing they are not thinking that climate action building, which is like we go to California, we go to Los Angeles. If that building is good, we will see that we will make a similar building in Gurgaon. But we need to understand, we need to make a climate responsive building, and what actually material we should use, which is adaptable in our nature. So sustainable building of course talks about the local materials, that we need to promote more local materials. So we should not bring from the different country or the different state. We should put a lot of carbon emission in the transportation. So there are the IGBC having the certified green building materials list, and we should go because they have tested out the materials and the quality, and accordingly they certified. So green building materials we can go. The next is the building waste management, which is also the waste is a wealth. A lot of people say that, are you doing a startup in waste? What is that? But actually this India having a lot of waste availability, and we are wasting, because of that waste, we are wasting our precious land in our country. I have seen like in Delhi, the landfill Gazipur having a height more than the Qutub Minar now these days. So this is kind of happening. We are wasting our land in the way landfills. Can't we recycle? Can't we reuse that waste? So that is the concept we have to understand. Building, because when you do the construction, lot of waste happens there. We need to do maximum recycled or maximum reuse on that waste. If we do that approach, we are making the actually building green. Organic waste, I have seen in existing buildings in hotels, a lot of people do the food wastage, and every food, and we should understand that how there is in the same country, some people doesn't have affordability to have food, and we are wasting a lot in the people wedding in restaurants and all. So what actually is happening, it is going to the landfill. Can't we recycle that waste? And green building talks about that, because we need to recycle those waste into the organic waste management way. Either we can make a uh, either we can make a gas with that, or for the landscaping we can use that. And the construction demolition I talked about, during the construction a lot of waste happen, and we need to talk about it. Now the indoor environmental quality, because environmental quality, we need to understand vayu. We, like our prime minister also talked about the jaan hai to jahan hai. And this is actually the building for jaan. But if your building is healthy, then you are there. Otherwise, we are, every architect or engineer is making a building for human. So we need to consider, when we talk about green building, we are not saying we should stop electricity, we should stop water. We are saying the comfortable also, that we talked about every person should feel more comfortable. And that is the fresh air, ventilation, indoor air quality comes in a picture. What kind of the strategies we can use? We should go with the low VOC paint, which is a volatile organic compound. These paints, because when you entered in the new building, you always get some smell, and that smell directly hit to your mind. That is the VOC content. We should ask our vendor always for the low VOC. Carbon dioxide level monitoring kind of strategies we can use. We can have more daylight in building. You must have seen some case studies in hospitals. People says the green hospital, the patient recovery can be more faster than the normal hospital, because the proper daylight is coming. The person get more motivated, person get more productive in that the building. If you work with the, if a person work in the basement or in the proper daylight area, the productivity is always increased. So green building doesn't only impact on the energy or the water, they also impact the productivity of the people. Acoustic performance. So these are the environmental related parameters which we need to take care. So a lot of people say, what are the benefits of the green building? Of course, green building impacts on environmental benefit, in economic benefit, and social benefit. And these are the three concepts of sustainability. When the sustainability comes, environmental, economic, social, all these concepts in the green building, and these are the benefits to make a building green. Impact of green building: 35% with the conventional building, the carbon emission will be less. Water consumption, 40% we can reduce the water consumption. Energy used by 50%, and the 70%, whatever the waste we are happening in conventional building, it can be reduced by 70% with that. So IGBC mission started in 2001 for that, and it is started from 20,000 square feet building area, and by 2022 it will be the 10 billion square feet. Already IGBC has 5,918 green building projects. It is increasing every day to day, like the number which I talked about 7, but of course it is crossed now 8 billion also. And these are the rating system from Indian Green Building Council. New building, residential, school, campus, whatever they are developing in the last 20 years. This is the building, the first building of the green building of in India, which is now it is going towards the net zero building. This is the headquarter of IGBC CII, headquarter in Hyderabad. Entire building is from solar. This is the net zero concept, because the India is going towards the net zero or net positive. The building which we make, whatever the energy we consume, we generate from our own building. That is called a net zero building. And this is they have done that in recently in Hyderabad. Incentive, there are several incentives from the green building point of view. The government, like in West Bengal, giving a 10% extra FAR area if you are making a green building. Similarly, in Pune, you will get some tax rebate in property tax if you are going for the green building. Rajasthan, Punjab, every state is giving an incentive to make more and more builders to make green building. And of course, actual buyers also, because when you guys purchase for your home, because you're understanding, always go with the green building, because it will adds up a lot of value in your on operation. So this is the Bill Gates says that whatever the pandemic we have seen, that was actually the small story. The climate change will be the deadly as coronavirus by 2060 if we do not say that. So we have solution. We all are the climate change fighter, and we need to fight together to reduce our carbon emission. Otherwise, our future generation actually will not able to and will not able to survive in that way with the less energy, less water, or poor air quality. We have to fight now. So thank you so much, everyone. This is my LinkedIn profile. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, and I will be more happy to take some questions now. So thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Over to you, Jatendra. Miss Nimi, can you take back?
Yes, Anzila. Roshni. Hello, Anzila.
Yeah, I can hear. Is anyone have any questions? Can ask now. So sir, one question is there in the comment box. How does IGBC compare to USGBC?
All right, Jeffrey, I think I'll explain that. The IGBC is the Indian Green Building Council and the USGBC is the United States Green Building Council. Of course, in the world, when we talk about in 1993, the USGBC started the green building rating concept in the world. And they are mostly from the US concept, because the building which are constructing in the US climate zone, so that is global now. It is a USGBC is a globally, they are working in more than 190 countries, and IGBC is the Indian Green Building Council and is in India. And of course, they have several credits related to the Indian climatology. So that is IGBC.
Does anyone else have any questions? Can ask now or can put in the chat box or question and answer box. Is anyone is there? Okay, there is one question.
Okay, I think that there is a question from Vipul. How can a mechanical engineer get in this field? Great, Vipul. I am also a mechanical engineer, so I can connect. When I was graduating, I was not aware about this industry. Actually, frankly, I was thinking either need to go power plant or either need to go in a manufacturing industry who do the automobile industries actually. But as a mechanical engineer, we need to understand the building industry. Most of the energy consumption in the building goes in air conditioning system, which is HVAC, heating, ventilation, air conditioning. And that is a technology which has a very, very less people in India. And as a mechanical engineer, if you come in this industry, be an expert of air conditioning and come and make a more energy efficient building design. And there's a huge requirement in this area, because I was reading an article during the pandemic. International Energy Agency says this is the only industry which can generate a job at this moment, because sustainable way, because you are just making a job from the wastage what the people is doing. So mechanical engineer has a huge demand. So you can start from working in any air conditioning design building or either in any green building consulting company.
Okay, sir. So there is a question. IGBC AP associate and IGBC AP both are same or it's different, sir?
IGBC AP associate and IGBC AP, I think I'm not aware about the associate thing. What is that? But IGBC AP having only one accredited professional, which is IGBC AP. Like I'm also an accredited professional, but associate, I'm sure during the pandemic, if you attend some training, they are giving an associate. So I think if someone from IGBC, they can better tell you about that. What is IGBC AP associate?
Okay, sir. So next question. Average, how many buildings are green building certified till now in India?
Very good. I think I shown you in my presentation from, I think that was a earlier slide, the 5,900, but it has been crossed to 7,000 buildings in India, which is the green building. If we talk about the percentage wise construction, is only the, I think 3 to 4% construction happening green in India right now.
Okay, sir. So next question, do fire and safety engineers have a good career in green building program?
Absolutely, that fire and life safety, without the green building also, you guys have a lot of good career right now, because after the Maharashtra incident happened in the last week, the Maharashtra government has a notice to all the buildings which having more than 100 employees, they need to do a fire audit every year. And the fire audit, fire plays a very, because building is green when you are safe. If you are not safe, why the building is there? So that is the reason you need to understand all the equipment properly. So green building now these days is coming up with the fire requirement also. All the norms should follow. So it is a huge requirement. As a fire and safety engineers, please do the fire and safety audit in the building design, because this kind of audit is going to mandatory in the buildings now.
Any more questions? Okay. What is your opinion about remote earth, bamboo, and vernacular buildings? And what can we do to promote this in India, like is being seen in Southeast Asia?
Right,
Etc.
Jeffrey, I think this is the very, I think these technologies, bamboo or the vernacular buildings, because when any architect talks about, they always talk about the passive design features. And because we cannot depend on the artificial life, vernacular in buildings in 20, 30 years back, if you look at the building in India, actually every building is talking some vernacular design in that. Proper ventilation, proper courtyard planning, and all these were happening. But these things, people are now started to go to the basics also. In between, of course, we make the same kind of building everywhere, but as a green building now, people have realized that if we want the resiliency and the sustainability, that we have to go to the basics, and vernacular building design and bamboo has already started. The government of India is doing a lot of efforts to promote more and more bamboo, and this will increase in a big way. Same Vietnam, because I have attended some event from the professionals in Vietnam, and Indonesia is getting very, very popular. Same in India. I'm pretty sure this will increase the same.
Okay, thank you, sir. Now we can wind up the questions. If any questions, we can ask to website directly. So now I call upon Nimi for the closing remark.
Hi everyone, and good evening once again. I believe each and every one of us can make changes in the way we live our lives and become part of the solution. From the bottom of my heart, I thank Ashu sir for taking the time to speak to us today on the very important topic, green building design need of the hour. Your comments on how the lives of those in need are positively affected when we as all Indians contribute. Our time is certainly inspirational. And we thank you for what you do for others in our community, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. It's great to be with us. And a special thanks to Payal ji. Actually, she's a great inspiration to many. And thanking Premji Memorial Trust to create, establish, and maintain sustainability paradigms through educational recognition and notifying all of the present and future generation. Next, I would like to thank all faculty members and a special thanks to Professor Roy M. Thomas, who is actually the backbone of Indian Green Building Council Student Chapter CUSAT. I thank each and every student who is a part of this section. Once again, from the bottom of my heart, I'm thanking you all. Let's think green, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ashu sir.
Thank you so much, Jatendra. Thank you, and look forward to.
Very nice presentation. Very nice
Thank you.
presentation.
My pleasure.
Yeah, thank you, Nimi. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Rai sir.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good night.